The Westin Resort and Spa in Cancun was just recently sold by Marriott Vacations Worldwide. Let's talk about what that might mean if you're a timeshare owner in the Vistana system right after this. Hello and welcome to Destination Timeshare. I'm Jeremy. Today I'm your host to talk about what's going on with Marriott Vacations Worldwide and the Westin Resort and Spa Cancun. We've in fact been to the Westin Resort and Spa Cancun. I have proof right here on my hat. That hat there is actually from that resort. But yeah, kind of an interesting development here. Just in the past few days, we learned that that property, the Westin Resort and Spa Cancun, was actually sold by Marriott Vacations Worldwide. And who did they sell it to? It was sold to, and I'm going to try and pronounce this right, Alohica and Royalton Hotels and Resorts. Royalton Hotels and Resorts, one of the big players actually in the all-inclusive resort market in Cancun, kind of all around. So big player there with all-inclusive resorts. And in fact, they indicate they plan to convert this property to an all-inclusive. This property is actually split. It actually has some timeshare units and it has hotel rooms as well. So kind of a mixed property here with the hotel rooms. That hotel property was also owned by Marriott Vacations Worldwide. Then you have the timeshare units, of course, also managed by Marriott Vacations Worldwide, part of Vistana, and actually available to book as a Vistana owner, which we are, using our star options. Now, also owners in the Westin Aventuras program, which is the points program, which actually encompasses a number of the Westin properties in Mexico. You had the Westin Los Cabos, Westin Laguna Mar, and also the Westin Resort and Spa Cancun. And actually what I think Vistana calls the timeshare property, the Westin Cancun Resort and Villas. Just keeping that in mind, we're not 100% sure. I don't really have all the answers here because just reading kind of a PR Newswire release on this and another article as well, which I'll link both of those down in the description box below. But they don't really give a whole lot of detail. Was it just the hotel that was sold? Was it the hotel and the timeshare units? Because what I understand, those timeshare units, even though they're available for Westin Aventura's owners to book, kind of in their home resort booking priority period, that being from 12 months of check-in to 8 months, I don't think those actually ever got conveyed or converted over to Westin Aventuras, meaning they're kind of not in that trust or that ownership structure that actually makes up Westin Aventuras. So it's quite literally possible that those units are going away as well, and that property might not be available to reserve using our star options in the future. In fact, there's some really nice units there actually. They have some studios, some 3 bedrooms, some 2 bedrooms as well, and we actually stayed in a studio unit just a few years ago. Like I said, we were there. In fact, if you want to see a playlist of those videos, I'll put a link to one right up here. It is kind of a really unique and interesting, neat little property. Unfortunately, this property really had a lot of things going against it. It's small, it's a hotel, they were trying to do a hotel conversion, and the location is just not all that ideal. It's at the south end of the hotel zone in Cancun, and unfortunately, not really a whole lot going on around there. No real close by restaurants other than kind of what's on site. There's the Club Med just kind of down the road a little ways, but that's an all-inclusive. There's no real grocery stores. When we were there, he said, hey, you could catch a bus and essentially go up to La Isla, which is essentially a huge shopping and restaurant complex right across the street from what is the Westin Laguna Mar. We'll mention that here towards the end of the video as well. So yeah, this resort, like I mentioned, is going to be coming in all-inclusive, which has its pluses and its minuses. As a timeshare owner, we really don't like the all-inclusive model. We like to go make our own breakfast, maybe even a lunch or snack, and then maybe go out somewhere to dinner. And that just really is not kind of our thing. And even if they keep this as a property where it's still timeshare, and then you have the all-inclusive part of it, what does that mean for owners that are staying there? Like, you're going to be able to kind of go to one of the restaurants and pay cash at an all-inclusive resort? Just seems a little bit strange. And they also mentioned in the release that there's 5 restaurants there. I looked at them on the website, and it's really kind of more like 2 major restaurants, maybe 3. There's the marketplace, there's a bar, so they kind of consider that all 5. But it doesn't really seem like an all-inclusive resort. It's rather small, but Royalton, I guess they're in this market. They're going to convert it over and make it a really big, popular, hopefully for them, all-inclusive property. It's actually a good location for an all-inclusive because it's kind of out of the way. Not really a whole lot of places to go, so it kind of fits that model very well. But as a Westin Vacation Club timeshare, not really too sure of its future. I actually did reach out to the social media contact on Marriott Vacations Worldwide's webpage, but of course, long weekend. We're going to have a holiday Monday. I probably won't hear anything back for a few days, if I hear anything back at all. If I do, I'll put something down in the comments to let you know what they had to say. Now, the plan here was originally actually to convert 355 hotel rooms at this resort into 288 timeshare villas. They only really got one of the small buildings done there. I think there's maybe only 3 or 4 kind of main building sections there, so they didn't get very far along. Rumor was that it was extremely expensive to convert those units to timeshares because they're essentially adding balconies onto them because the original kind of complex didn't have balconies. The new timeshare units, which are actually kind of nice, you can see in those videos I mentioned up there. Really, really nice, wonderful balconies, great views out to the Caribbean Sea. And when I say great views, they really were fantastic. But yeah, it just doesn't seem like it maybe ran off all that well. A lot of timeshare owners don't really want to book it because the Westin Laguna Mar, just up a little bit further north in the hotel zone, much more fantastic property, huge and magnificent infinity pools, kind of right in the heart of the hotel zone in Cancun. Maybe they didn't have enough owners booking it. Maybe it's going to remain bookable by timeshare owners. I really would like it to stay that way because I actually have a video in that same playlist comparing the Westin Laguna Mar and the Westin Resort in Cancun. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. I'll try and keep you updated as things progress along with this property and we learn a little bit more. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video. This little tidbit of news and information. We might actually be having a fair bit more of these here in the future. So look forward to these. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Hit that button down below. Make sure you click on all notifications as well so you're notified whenever I post new videos. Hit the thumbs up. And if you want to see a video from what is for sure going to be a timeshare property well into the future, the wonderful Westin Laguna Mar, I will put a video. Well, we'll put it right up here. Check that one out here. Coming up next, it's a video resort tour of the Westin Laguna Mar. Thanks for watching, and remember, until next time, the best destination is always a timeshare.